What's up, Cowboy Nation, Cowboy Headquarters, and America's team? It's your guy G, the #1 Cowboy fan, Hampton, coming at you live, direct, and correct with some Mo news. That's right, some MO news that you can use. And here we are, sitting in the parking lot, waiting for my grandkids to show up so I can wish her happy birthday. Happy birthday, Coco. We are at the trampoline park and waiting for them to show up so I can watch them bounce all over the place. You know, we didn't have this when we was kids. There wasn't no such thing as you was fortunate enough to even have a trampoline. You know, now they got trampoline. You just go in and jump from one trampoline to the anyway. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Now, if you see the title, Brian Schottenheimer, questions still lingers. Now, there were several questions that I had, and questions that make you say, And I wanted to share that with you guys, and wanted to know what you guys thought about these questions that lingers. So, but at the same time, these questions that I'm going to ask also brought about something different. Something different within the organization after doing further research and digging a little deeper into how the organization and the players and the coaches. But again, like I say, Brian Schottenheimer, question still lingers. And when I started this, it started to where I was riding on the emotions of being excited. And I think we all are excited. I think we all are excited in one way or another. But I'm not going to put the but in there. I'm just going to stick with, the excitement of having George Pickens here. That's just the greatest news we done got in a long time. Going out there and getting an X factor, an X receiver, a big name. We've been looking for that for some years now. But not only that, but knowing that Brian Schottenheimer is not a head coach, and we all excited about that, and we're getting ready to do something different, something new, and we all looking forward to it. We've been hearing about culture with this team, but then I started thinking, I'm like, you know what, damn, if you really think about it, we have to ask ourselves, what is the guarantees? And really and truly, there is no guarantee. There's no guarantee. We don't know what Brian Schottenheimer is going to bring to the table, but we're trusting him, I believe. I guess we trust. Some of us are trust. But at the same time, I got to the point to where it's like, wait a minute, man. We putting a lot of hype in behind Brian Schottenheimer. We putting a lot of hype in behind this brother, man. And at the same time, when I mentioned that, I thought about it, I said, well, damn. What is Brian going to do any different than Mike McCarthy? This is a coach that never had a head coaching job. And then when I said that, this came to mind. I said, what does Brian Schottenheimer and Jason Garrett have in common? And I know what y'all said. Oh, gee, there you go. What did Jason Garrett have to do with this? Jason Garrett has everything to do with this, okay? And I say that because Jason Garrett was one that we brought from inside of the organization, made him the head coach. Yeah. Jason Garrett never had a head coaching job. Bing! see where I'm going with this? Jason Garrett never had a head coaching job when we gave him a head coaching job. And what did we get? What did we get with Jason Garrett? It wasn't good seasons, but no Super Bowl. So then it led me to the belief, or ask myself, well, why are we putting so much emphasis in Brian Schottenheimer? Who to say he won't do the same thing as Jason Garrett? Who to say that he will get up here and probably do worse than Jason Garrett? Because we have no film, we have no history of him leading a head football, being a head coach for the NFL football team. We don't. So that's when I started thinking, I'm like, what? Damn. We put all this hype in behind Brian Schottenheimer, but hell, we don't know what we're going to get with Brian Schottenheimer. We don't know. And I was going to do this show about that. The question lingers because, again, you know, we're talking about Clayton Adams. Clayton Adams, okay, well, Clayton Adams, yeah, we brought him. He's an offensive, but he come from Arizona. Arizona Cardinals. What have they done lately? I'll wait. He might be a great offensive. I mean, is he a great offensive coordinator? What do you do with the Cardinals? Okay. Then we're talking about, what was his name? The offensive line coach coming from Kansas State. Yeah. Look what he did with Deuce Vaughn over there. What's his name? Corey Klein, I believe, something like that. And we talk about him. Well, hell, he produced Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn had over 2,000 yards rushing down there each season until he got over here. Couldn't even get on the field. So we put all this effort and all this hype behind the offensive line coach. I can't think of Corey something. Y'all know his name. I'm like, but damn, we didn't get nothing out of Deuce Vaughn. Regardless of what his numbers were in college. I accept that. Man, college is one thing and professional is a whole total different thing. So now this is what my video was going to be about, because again, I'm looking at, damn, we getting all hyped for what? We don't know what these coaches going to bring to the table. Damn. But then I thought, and I did some more research. And just this morning, man, I got up, getting ready for work. Yeah, I work on Sunday. And I put on, YouTube, and I go through certain content creators and listen to them. Well, Michael Irvin had one. And I don't want to make this video really long, but I'm trying to sum this up really quick. But Michael Irvin said something. Michael Irvin he's just as big of a fan as he was a player. And he's just like us. He's a diehard Cowboy fan. But he said something. He said on his show, and you need to go check out his show. It's Michael Irvin show. I can't think what the name of it is. But he said something. He said, Brian Schottenheimer had a Legends Day, a legendary day or something like that. Brian Schottenheimer reached out to all the legends, every legend that ever played for the Cowboys. Now, I can't tell you who all was there. I know Michael Irvin was there. I know Hollywood Enders was there. And there was a lot of others that he just didn't name. But Brian reached out to all the legends to come and partake in the practice. But not only the practice, but the meetings and everything that took place. And all these legends showed up at the Star. And he said he had all, and I'm just paraphrasing, you gotta go back and look at it. He said, but he had all the legends in the same room with the present players. And he was telling the players, the present players, and he pointed to all the legendary players and said, these are who we honor. These guys have done it. So we have to pay our respects to them. This is why we're doing it, because they done it. There has never been another coach outside of Jimmy Johnson within these 30 years that has ever invited the legends to be a part of the practice and meetings. They was a part of the meetings, the media room, the meetings and everything. So he said that this is what Brian, Coach Shotty, said to his players. This is who we honor. These guys have been there. But Michael says something else. He said this culture that Brian Schottenheimer is building is a competition and pressure type of culture. Everything is competitive, but you also have to know how to play under pressure. You have to show why you deserve to be here. These are the games, or these are the situations you deserve to be in. Said that they had a basketball goal in the media room, and they would pick 2 people out, and they had 30 seconds to shoot, shoot how many baskets shoot the ball and make how many baskets they could within 30 seconds. And while all this is going on, everybody's just making noise and yelling, "Oh, go." And basically what this was demonstrating was playing under pressure. But at the same time, you're competing. This is the culture that he's creating in the locker room. So that went on, and then they broke off into classes. And basically, the defense went where they had to go, and the offense went to their place, and the legends went where they played. And the legends also partake in the practices. Now that right there says something to me as a Cowboy fan. And you can tell I'm rocking my One Star One family cap. Big shout out to DJ Kai, Sherry Godmother, and all them. But that right there moved me, because not now other coach ever invited all those legends. And there was a reason that he brought those legends, because he recognized these are the guys that done it before. In order for you to be like them, you have to play like them. Michael also mentioned how they was in practice, said that everything is up tempo. They run it full speed. And that's something that I noticed from the Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy had a practice called GPS. It was a navigation practice. It was practice to not get hurt. No, really. So everything was more like walkthroughs. But what Coach Shotty is doing, everything is up tempo. They're running fast. And this is something that's needed, because you have to get your muscles used to moving at such a high rate, at a fast pace. And Michael said that CD caught a pass, about 10-yard pass, and ran it 75 yards in. Said he got touched back there, but he still ran it all the way in 75 yards. Said George Pickens did the same thing, went 70 yards. So there's a promise that's been made from the coaching staff to the players. And I'm gonna make this short, but the promise is not to allow my teammate to fail. Do my job. Hold each other accountable. And Mike also said there was a time that somebody got lackadaisical, and he shouted at him and said, "I can't believe y'all deserve this, but then at the same time you get in here and do this and whatever." And everybody was like, who was it, coach? But some people say the culture isn't nothing, but you have to implement a culture If you don't implement the culture, things will continue as they were before. He said the meetings were so intense, said that basically when they called up and I don't want to give his whole video, you got to go look at the video, but he said when they called the receivers up to the board, two receivers go up to the board, and they not only have to know their routes, but they have to know everybody else, all the other receivers, right? Even the running backs' responsibility. So after listening to Michael Irvin say what he had to say in his experience, and for him to believe in what Shadi is doing, and once you watch his video, then you'll kind of understand what he's trying to do. Okay? So, yeah, my video was going one way. But then when I listened to Mike this morning, man, listen. Yeah. And this is coming from a Hall of Famer. And all Michael said is, we're going to shock the world. We're going to shock the world. So, as a content creator and as a #1 Cowboy fan, I'm on board, y'all. I'm on board. I'm on board so much that guess what? I'm going back to Oxnard. Hey, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share this video. And also leave your comments and tell me what you think about this. Are you believing in the culture that's been implemented, or are you thinking that this is going to be another year? You guys leave your comments below, man, and let me know what you guys think, man. All right, again, like I always say, continue to stay safe and be blessed. Deuces.